Hey everybody, how's it going? It's MagnavoxBox here, and we're going to be doing another gameplay here on Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo. Now when I was a kid, I didn't realize that this game was released any time before my time period. I had beaten the shit out of this game, 1 through 3 on the Game Boy Advance SP. It wasn't until later I found out that this game was released on the Super Nintendo. Now I never had a Super Nintendo growing up, so I missed out on a lot of games, but I feel like I know a lot of the games. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I just like going in there because it's very immersive in the, of the world, you know, just to know, like, DK is upset that there are no bananas, and that he's got to go out and find bananas. It's a big part of the storyline, the whole bananas with Donkey Kong Country and stuff, you know, you really see that in the Donkey Kong Country CGI animation that they made when I had all the tapes and stuff. I mean, that cartoon, like, I dissected so much about Donkey Kong when I was younger. I did a shit ton of drawings of him. I played him in Mario Parties 1 through 4. I got toys right now, I'm looking right at them, that they're just hanging right above my computer. And I was pissed when they stopped making him an accessible character in Mario Party. Like, for Mario Parties 5, 6, 7, and I even think 8, you weren't allowed to play as Donkey Kong, you know? And that was just so annoying, you know? Like, why would you take him away? Why would you take away our fucking Donkey Kong, you pieces of shit? Anyways, this is level 2. Now, this game in particular, I can remember spending many frustrating hours, like, actually spending a lot of time on this game and struggling with being able to beat it. This actually, and it shocks me just speaking about it because it makes me think about the Angry Video Game Nerd and how many, like, genuine memories he has about playing video games and genuine memories of games frustrating him. And it's like, well, you know, I buy a lot of these games, and for a lot of it, it's my first time playing it, as I mentioned before. Like, I missed out on a lot of games for the Super Nintendo. Like, I played these games, but on my Game Boy Advance, I never played A Link to the Past or the first Star Fox or F-Zero or any of those kinds of games. But I did have an NES and a Nintendo 64, so we kind of just missed that generation. I'm not entirely sure how. I guess maybe because, like, if you gauge that kind of time period, like, when my parents, you know, they had a Nintendo, and then when I was born, you know, that's when we got the N64, so the Super Nintendo, I guess, wasn't really, I think it was just kind of for the kids, you know, and I wasn't really born around that time. But I still played, like, this game, for instance, because it was on the Game Boy, and a lot of these games that were on the Super Nintendo got ported over to the Game Boy, so a lot of people in my generation probably played these games just on a different console. And I still love these games and feel as though I got the exact same experience, hadn't I? I remember I wanted an original Game Boy Advance, but there was no backlight, and that was always disappointing to me because I had always liked the original Game Boy Advance's design as opposed to the SP. I feel as though the SP was trying to emulate more so a laptop that could fit in your pocket, or I guess, like, you know, a phone, you know, an old-ass phone. But I just like the Game Boy Advance's design. It's very reminiscent of the Switch Lite now, actually, where it just has the buttons on the front and stuff. So Nintendo has kind of always, like, backlotted a bunch of ideas and used stuff for later, you know. I definitely think the biggest decimation of Nintendo in general was when they lost their relationship with Rare. And Rare is the creator of this game, if you hadn't realized. They had also created Battletoads, which is something I had recorded before, Conker's Bad Fur Day. I talk about these guys in so many fucking videos. I fucking love Rare, because I grew up playing so many games by them. Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Diddy Kong Racing, Donkey Kong Countries 1 through 3, and now Battletoads in my adult-ass age, and Conker's Bad Fur Day. Like, these are the fucking games that basically sums up my entire life. This company I have dissected so much of in my spare time. If I can help it, it's because these games are fucking amazing and instill such imagination into a person. Doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are, anybody can pick up these games and have fun with them. Like, I haven't fully immersed myself in Donkey Kong Country in a very long time, because I don't pick up this game because I've played through it so many times. And that's why, in terms of my collection of classic games, I don't really seek out the Donkey Kong Country series, because I had grown up with them and played them. Donkey Kong Jr. was something that I remember discovering for the first time when he had come into Donkey Kong Country 3. And not being able to play as Donkey Kong was pretty interesting, because Diddy kind of became more so the lead character. And I guess that's because... And that's kind of interesting, you know, because for a while this is the Donkey Kong universe. But after Donkey Kong Country, Diddy Kong was the lead character. And then they made Diddy Kong Racing. And for a while, Diddy Kong was Rare's, like, child. And the people who worked for Rare were actually quoted as saying that Nintendo was happy that they were making Diddy Kong theirs because Donkey Kong was theirs. And what does that tell you? So, after a while, Rare was definitely on the outskirts with Nintendo, because I think Rare was basically making better games than Nintendo was. I mean, Nintendo made Super Mario Brothers, but Rare knew how to keep up with Nintendo. And if anything, Nintendo knew it, and they were like, well, go make games on a different console. Because you're too good for our company and you might buy us out or something? I don't know. I think with hindsight, Rare knew that their end was going to come at some point. They excelled in 2D platformers, and making 3D platformers was just not really something I feel as though they had anticipated or cared for. Because look at this game. It's fucking beautiful, it's perfect, it's like a chessboard, and then it's like a Super Mario platformer. They really understood the basics of what made a great game, and it's visually appealing and beautiful as all fuck. But with 3D platformers, that could be a little weird. I actually just beat Conker's Bad Fur Day, and I was watching some footage of what it was supposed to be like. 12 Tales Conker 64. And that's a fucking trip, man. It really does look like Super Mario 64. And by the end of it, I'm kind of happier that they did the whole Conker's Bad Fur Day thing, because it's like, well, yeah, like, you wouldn't be able to go back to the Nintendo 64 years later and, like, pop in... Like, maybe you could pop in Banjo and Kazooie, you know, if you're a fan of those games. Like, I could probably pop in Banjo-Tooie, but it just reminds me too much of my childhood. Like, Conker's Bad Fur Day is a game geared towards adults, so it's like me as an adult person who grew up with the Nintendo 64 but doesn't really want to go down nostalgia lane every time I pop on the Nintendo 64 can experience it as a completely new thing as an adult person. And if anything, it becomes more valid to me now, because I am experiencing it almost totally new again. Because I'm playing a game that I didn't really experience as a child that is geared towards my age group. I think that's pretty interesting, you know? It really makes me kind of respect it more, because it's like, yeah, you know, Nintendo is like a kid's toy or whatever, but it's like, if you look at that game, it is, like, very impressive, especially towards the end of the game itself. Like, you really do a lot of cool things that are, like, engineered very well gameplay-wise. Like, Rare was so ahead of their time, and it's just such a shame that they went downhill the way they did, because they were so fucking talented. Making this bullshit, like, this dumb fucking barrel shit, I would give up so many times when I played through this. Like, I'm even fucking up now. As an adult person, I am fucking up. I remember when I was a kid, I had some crazy compulsion to, like, either make it all Donkey Kong completed or all Diddy Kong completed, because that was the thing about games back then, is like, you were so limited by what you could do. What the fuck? You were so limited by what you could do that you just experimented with whatever you could do. And that's basically the basis of how we understand open world roam games today. Is by a game like this, Wouldn't it be cool if instead of being limited by the hardware capabilities of what you expect a game to be, that you could just do so much more? Alright, let's see if I can do this here. Oh, that wasn't it? So yeah, I got this hooked up to my VCR and I'm recording it. Like, who cares, you know? Okay. Okay, one second. Yep. Alright, great. Yep. Alright, sick. Yeah, shit is so fucking hard, man. Oh, fuck you. I hate that goddamn Kremling. Why do they gotta put one right fucking there? That's the problem with Rare, is that they keep pulling you by the goddamn chain, and they never give up. But you know what? They single-handedly created Donkey Kong from the ground up and got nothing for it, so fuck them. Whatever. But yeah, so I'm recording this through my VCR. I know I could probably just screen record it off an emulator like a normal fucking person and pander to you fucking meanderers and fucking people for quality gameplay, but it's like, this is more fun to me, you know, hooking up the VCR, I get to play the game just so naturally. Oh, like, that guy was a fucking pussy. It was so easy. But I get to play the game so fucking naturally, you know, and I get to play it like it was intended. I mean, that's the problem with, like, today's, like, just today's culture, I guess, you know? It's just like, oh, like, you're playing on the original hardware because you appreciate the original hardware. Because if you were a person who appreciated quality, you would play it on your computer because it looks better. But, and that's the problem, is like, even what I said is wrong. You know, because people argue everything. I play it on the original hardware because I own it. You know? And if I don't, then I'll probably play it on an emulator, unless if I've got money to spend. But I just own this shit. It's literally just here. You know? I'm not somebody going out of my way, you know, like, who's born into money or whatever. It's like, yeah, you know, I make some money, I'll buy a game I like if I can play it. If not, then I probably just own it. You know, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I have, that I capture through VCR, I own. Now, I want to talk about this level for a second because I fucking love this level. Like, I really enjoy this shit. Like, it's just so much fun. I mean, there's nothing like a good minecart. I mean, this is what Donkey Kong is known for. Like, in Donkey Kong 64, there's nothing quite like the minecart adventure that happens there. But this shit is tough. I mean, I just remember so many fucking times I spent on this bullshit. Like, literally, like, getting that banana is a fucking death sentence. Never really knew what those gold dolphin sword spearheaded fuckers were. Oh shit, should I have not said that? Is spearhead, like, insulting? I gotta look this up right now. Spearhead. The point of a spear. Michael Frattini, American rapper. Also known as Spearhead. Alright, we're good. Oh, excuse me if you heard that. Yeah, fuck this shit, dude. It's especially when you have the minecarts that are laying in the middle of the track. See, it's just like you can't really estimate when you're supposed to jump over it. You gotta get as close as you possibly fucking can and then jump over it as soon as you can. There was a one-up balloon right there underneath the track, so you want to stay below that you're able to grab that and then get a one-up. And then you gotta jump over these Kremlings that are attacking you within lightning speed. I mean, this is typical Rareware fashion. You gotta fucking punch the line, and you gotta be quick about it. If you collect 100 bananas, you get a one-up, and then your shit sticks solid. So just keep moving fucking forward, and you should be good. I mean, this really is a fantastic game. You know, it makes me think, like, I should pop open Banjo-Kazooie, you know? Because that was a game that was too closely related to Conker's Bad Fur Day, so then they made Conker's Bad Fur Day the way it was. And Banjo-Kazooie was a game mainly my sibling played, which I should really get more into. I mean, I grew up on Banjo-Tooie. Like, that game is basically in my soul, you know? Like, I fucking love that game. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. Only because I'm playing this game. And I grew up with this. So, Rareware is like... You know, the first game I ever played, I think, was Diddy Kong Racing. So, Rareware is just in my blood, right? Huh. What's amazing is you'll notice even on the cartridge, there is no Rareware logo. That's pretty interesting. And I have a regular cartridge too, it's not a special edition. My Super Nintendo is also very yellow. I had one that was just gray, but I don't really know what happened to it. I think it's gone. I've got 3 consoles, Nintendo 64, NES, like 3 generations Nintendo, and then I got a PS1, but I don't have anything hooked up to it yet. Like, I'd have to buy the power cable and shit. I got some credit card debt that I have to pay, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, that's a reality that just happens, you know. It's like you spend the money and it keeps staying there. Yep. I took off from work this week, just another couple of days, so I'm just recording some gameplay, testing this shit out. Motherless fuck, dude. Oh, man. I'm getting tired, you know. Probably just gonna finish this up and then probably eat something. Got 2 levels left. And then I'm gonna hit the save. Huh, excuse me. Yeah, I just bought 4 new tapes, so hopefully the quality improves. This quality looks pretty good with this game right now. With Battletoads, it was looking a little choppy, probably because that game just happened so fast, and the Super Nintendo just looks better. But it looks good, man. You know? It's not that bad a game quality. Yeah, these levels are really hard as a kid, you know? I mean, they're hard as an adult, but I mean, man, like, this shit was, like, straight up impossible when I was a kid. Motherless fuck, dude. I just can't do this shit. Bouncy Bonanza. Alright, last one. My favorite. Stop and Go Station. This one was fun for numerous reasons, because you hit the barrel and then it makes these frantic guys stop. And it was a really good challenge back then, you know? I remember playing this and it was like, oh man, you gotta figure out how to, like... You gotta figure out when to hit that, and then you gotta run as fast as humanly possible. Now, the thing I don't understand about Mike Matei, I'm just gonna put him on blast for 1 second. The thing I don't understand about him is, like, he said that he doesn't like timed games. But, then what the fuck is this? This is a timed game. I mean, look, I'm not gonna hold what the guy says, like, on a podcast or whatever to his biblical text, you know? It's like, oh, like, that's what he thinks all the time, like... Maybe he just has a preference for shit, but I wonder, you know? Like, does he like Portal? Does he like games like that? Oh, fuck. See, that shit always fucked me up as a kid. Because it's all timing. Oh, man. It's all timing. You gotta get all that shit right. It's the only way you're gonna do it. Let's go, baby! Alright. Well, that was the first 2 levels of Donkey Kong Country. You know, I just wanted to record something. Wanted to record some gameplay, so I thought I'd do this. But, that's about it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Have a great night.